What's going on, everybody? Jay from Jocko here, and I am on site at TSI in Shoreview, Minnesota. And for those of you who don't know what a fume hood is, well, you're looking at one right here. Basically, this is where you take all of the nasty stuff that you don't want into your respiratory system, and you work on it in one of these fume hoods. So that's where the critical comes from. The stuff people work on in here could kill them. But essentially what this is doing is it's making 100 feet per minute airflow and taking it out of this building. So 100 feet per minute is the equivalent to, and I asked AI what is the equivalent to, a Seals and Crofts song. So it's a summer breeze. It makes you feel fine, right? That's 100 feet per minute. So if I shut this, what does it need to be? You guessed it, 100 feet per minute. If I open this way up, it still has to be 100 feet per minute. And in order to achieve that, the TSI preferred method is to use an actual airflow monitoring system. So rather than just guessing by the position of this sash to say that there's this many inches of free space, what they're doing is they're taking a reading. And here is an airflow monitoring station. Because I'm such a handyman, I pulled this one out so that you can see what it looks like. And they are taking that airflow reading across this exhaust duct. TSI uses a fast-acting actuator here, and I'm going to show you when I close this, you'll see that that airflow reading is changing. And the damper is opening and closing so that we are always getting the 100 feet per minute that we require to meet code. Another nice thing about the sidewall sensor that you won't get in the sash position is that you now have the ability to open vertically, and the same thing is going to happen. This is going to detect the change in the airflow using the airflow monitoring station and adjust your airflow here. Have this open in your normal position, and then you stand in front of it. What's happening? Well, in this situation, the velocity, because I'm closing off this middle section, the velocity around me is increasing. And if that increases to over 120 feet per minute, there could be a circulation of that substance that then comes out of the hood and into my nostrils, essentially killing me. So that is why this is the TSI preferred method. And all right, now that you've seen the sidewall sensing kind of true calculation technology, let's look at one of the more traditional setups. So what we have over here is a sash position fume hood. So this is going to control your 100 feet per minute velocity by the position of this sash. So instead of actually measuring how much airflow is going through the exhaust, we're going to be using a potentiometer and a Venturi valve. So what those are, I'll show you. A potentiometer, it's like your old-fashioned radio volume knob. You used to slide those up and down on your boombox, before you went to bed in 1997. And when that happens, it's sending a signal that is then interpreted, and then this cone will move to increase or decrease the velocity of the system. So as I push this down and I have less air flowing through there, this will close to change that velocity in your system. So what are the pros and cons of each of these? Well, the pros of this system, the sash sensing system, is that everyone's familiar with it. It's been around forever. It's easy to install. There's no cleaning to it. Some of the cons, it requires significantly more pressure to operate. So this static pressure has to be here in order for it to have an accurate reading. So that means your supply fans are always going to have to be running and supplying a static pressure of, even if a low flow, like 0.03 to 0.6. So that's a lot more than what you would need for a true calculation. So let's look one more time over here at the sidewall sensor. So we talked about it, but there's two holes on either side of this that go up to a sidewall sensor. And if this doesn't open in the middle, you can actually just have the sidewall sensor mounted on the sidewall. So it's not just a clever name. The pros of this system is that true measurement. We know exactly what the airflow is leaving this hood at all times. And it's fast. This will essentially go fully open or fully closed in under 2 seconds, whereas the Venturi valve is going to be close to 30. Less initial cost, definitely more energy efficient. Some of the cons, there's a little bit more to maintain. You have a sensor, you have an actuator, you have an airflow monitor. And if you understand the system, it's not that big a deal, but for the true calculation, for knowing exactly what your airflow is, especially in this on-demand world we live in, you're going to have a lot more flexibility with this system and be a lot safer. So that's a little bit of the summary of all the stuff that we've been working on here at TSI today. And again, if you have an opportunity to come up here or you want to talk more about fume hoods or labs, give me a call. We'll talk to you then. Thanks.